believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry believes in Joe Hendry. Just listen.
Anything is possible when you begin.
At TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view in Montreal, the crowd was hot and the action was hotter, and wrestling fans were going to believe that Joe Hendry would finally reach the top of the wrestling world. As fans were stunned to see the former Dolph Ziggler become champion, how can TNA send its hottest star home without a title and send its viewers to bed without a smile? If TNA does not believe in Joe Hendry, then who will believe in TNA? Be sure to like and subscribe to Ringside with WhattaDay. Hey everybody, I'm Joe WhattaDay Lowry. Welcome to the debut episode of WhattaDay Wrestling Rant. That's right, folks. This is a weekly rant that can be seen, by the way, courtesy of Bill Apter's Sportskeeda newsletter. And to receive that newsletter every Wednesday in your inbox via email for free, just head on over to sportskeeda.com/newsletters. Like I'm sure you can see the web address below the video here as well as in the description feed. But head on over there. Check it out. It is a free service, so I duly appreciate that. So this week we are talking the rant is about Joe Hendry and TNA. And the real question is, does TNA believe in Joe Hendry? That's the real question here. This has been the focal point for pro wrestling fans since this past weekend's TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view in beautiful Montreal, Canada. They had a sold-out crowd, 4,000 people in attendance, their largest crowd in over 10 years. I don't have the pay-per-view buy statistic yet, but I'm sure it's going to be up there. But Joe Hendry has been a hot commodity. In case you don't know who I'm talking about, I'll put a picture up here. This is Joe Hendry. That's right. He is a hot commodity. He sings. He looks like he can wrestle and dance and all that. He actually has a music video, and I do believe I could play a soundbite. I hope I don't get in trouble. But this is his ring entrance. He actually sings this song. Let's take a listen.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Wow.
I believe in Joe Hendry. Say his name and he appears.
Well, you get the idea. He sings, he can wrestle, he does it all. He's a hot commodity. And ever since that crossover between TNA and NXT, Joe Hendry has become the hottest new star that fans have been rallying behind. Now, Joe Hendry is a singer. He's got sex appeal, trends daily on all social media platforms. And like you say, when you say his name, he appears and fans believe in Joe Hendry. Okay, so let's go to this weekend. You saw my short at the beginning. This main event featured 5 other competitors, but with Joe Hendry in there and his popularity soaring, everybody was pretty much a lock in that Joe Hendry was going to win the TNA world title in that 6-man elimination world title match at TNA Slammiversary. Anyways, naturally, fans and viewers were all abuzz. The anticipation was building. Next thing you know, Joe Hendry, he does pin Moose, the current champion, so you're already going to get a new champion. And what happens after that? Some guy by the name of Josh Alexander goes ahead and pins Joe Hendry. And I can tell you, I was watching this pay-per-view, you could hear a pin drop in that auditorium. 4,000 people were left stunned, speechless. Frowns were just all around. I could hear the TV sets all over the place just turning off. It was just crazy, crazy time. And you know, the question of the week is, did TNA drop the ball? And at first response, social media was just blowing up with, yeah, TNA took their hottest star and basically hung him out to dry. And not only that, he wasn't even factored in at the ending of the match. He got eliminated second. And then, you know, as we all know, Nick Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler, he ended up winning the title, which is kind of confusing to me because he's already had the pinnacle of all that with WWE. He's been a world champion, intercontinental champion, tag team champion. He's done it. You know, it's time to pass the torch, but this is just a weird thing with TNA right now. I just don't understand it, why they would not put the title on Joe Hendry at this time, especially with the crossover with NXT. I mean, you could have some amazing, amazing storylines with Joe Hendry coming over to NXT or, you know, NXT people going over to TNA. This is a big deal. I think it is a big deal. I know it's just my opinion, but there's a lot of agreement out there. People have talked about it that, yeah, this should have been a world title victory for Joe Hendry. Now, I know Mark Henry put a post out there saying in the future, it should be Joe Hendry 101 getting his own spot. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a while that you'll see a sold out crowd for TNA wrestling. Nothing against TNA. We all know, you know, it's WWE, NXT, AEW, and then you got MLW and TNA fighting for that third and fourth spot every week. Ratings aren't the greatest and so forth. But here you got a hot commodity like Joe Hendry, and you drop the ball. TNA, what's going on? I mean, overall, the card wasn't that bad. TNA Slammiversary had some crazy stuff going on there, but this is more about Joe Hendry and what is going on with TNA. I mean, basically, I just don't, if TNA doesn't believe in Joe Hendry, then, like I said in my video, why should we believe in TNA? So they're going to have a huge crisis this week. I know they have other storylines they want to get to and so forth, but Anthem Sports Group that does own TNA, they're out there, trying to generate money and revenue, and they did a great job this past weekend. Montreal, sold out crowd, pay-per-view. Really, I mean, and I think I watched the pay-per-view. They had 3 pre-matches from 6 to 7, and that show lasted until over 11 o'clock. There was like 8 or 9 matches. That's a long pay-per-view. That's a long investment for wrestling fans to turn on, and they don't get the headlines like most WWE and NXT, AEW get. I mean, some people had the results the next day. Some people waited till Monday to print them. But I got to tell you, this whole thing with dropping Joe Hendry, it's a tough one. So my only hope is that Joe Hendry does, in fact, cross back over to NXT. Maybe he'll sign with NXT. I'm not sure the contractual obligations with TNA and Joe Hendry, but I can tell you 3 months ago, nobody knew who Joe Hendry was, but now you do. Joe Hendry, he's a guy that can really attract a wide range of people. He's 36 years old. He's a Swedish wrestler, great guy. Actually, let me just check real quick. I do believe that he is he's been overseas for a long time. Let me tell you, he's a Scottish professional wrestler. Yep, he is 36 years old, born in Edinburgh, UK. And even now, Nick Nemeth has been commenting as saying Joe Hendry basically got buried at TNA. That's a story that just came out this afternoon. I don't know when this will broadcast, but that is something that we need to address. Did TNA purposely bury Joe Hendry? I mean, if this is all part of the shtick, that's fine. But wrestling fans went home very unhappy this past Saturday night. Nobody wanted to talk about it. I mean, if you get a chance to watch the replays, when they pinned Joe Hendry, when Josh Alexander pinned Joe Hendry, everyone was like, what just happened? This was not supposed to happen. This was like a short thing. I'm sure if DraftKings had odds on it, he would have been plus 2,500. I guarantee it. But Joe Hendry not in the picture with TNA World Title right now. I'm not sure why, but you have Nick Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler. Don't get me wrong, Nick Nemeth, great athlete. But when you compare apples to oranges here, you got to go with the new guy coming up, and he's got the looks, he's got the style, he's got the voice. And I think TNA really, really did a disservice to the wrestling community by not putting the title on him. Who knows? They have tapings going on this week. Maybe they'll do it during a taping. I don't know. But you had your biggest audience to date, a sold-out crowd in Montreal, 4,000 fans, standing room only. The crowd was electric up until Joe Hendry got eliminated. And they I think they showed one shot of him walking back to the backstage area, and that was it. And you saw in my video earlier on that, he believed in Joe Hendry. That video there was taken a couple hours before the Slammiversary pay-per-view kicked off. So, again, the question remains clear. If TNA does not believe in Joe Hendry, why should we believe in TNA? That's food for thought right there. All right, folks, friendly reminder. Each week I rant about something that has really irked me or has gotten under my skin, of course, in regards to the world of professional wrestling. And lately there's been a lot to talk about, but I always pick one rant and I do rant away. And to see my weekly rant, courtesy of Bill Apter's Sportskeeda newsletter, head on over to the link below my video here at www.sportskeeda.com/newsletters. Put in your email address and you can receive Bill Apter's weekly email newsletter in your inbox for free. That's right, folks. Free. It's for me. That drops every Wednesday morning. You can take a look at that, and you be sure to check out all the good articles that Sportskeeda has to offer and so forth. And by the way, they don't spam you with anything. It's just a simple newsletter, cut and dry. Bill Apter, his stuff, my stuff. So it's just good, honest pro wrestling journalism. And, of course, entertainment. All right, that's going to do it for me, folks. As always, be sure to like and subscribe to Ringside with WhattaDay, and you can get content uploaded daily, weekly episodes, and more. If you subscribe, you get notified. So when a new video like this pops up, you'll know about it. All right, that's going to do it for me, folks. Hope to see everybody next time here for the WhattaDay Rant.
For the love of